How you doing, everybody? And happy holidays to you all as 2022 is coming to a close. And you know what that means? We now obviously have our final tallies for the 2021 box office. So, in keeping with tradition, it is now time for me to relive my predictions video for the top 10 highest grossing films of last year, 2021. So things kind of went back to normal last year, especially when you compare it to 2020. I mean, my 2020 box office predictions were just totally wrong. I didn't get anything right in that predictions video. So I do feel a little bit better knowing my 2021 predictions were slightly more accurate. So with that being said, let's take a look back at last year's predictions, my predictions for the top 10 highest grossing films of 2021. Right here. There they are. So rounding out the top 10, at the bottom I had Matrix Resurrections, followed by Dune, Godzilla vs. Kong, Black Widow, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, 007, the new James Bond film, No Time to Die, Venom, Let There Be Carnage, Minions, The Rise of Gru, Eternals, and Fast 9, F9, whatever you want to call it, as my number one. Now, right off the bat, I am going to address the large elephant currently in the room, and that is, as you can see, Spider-Man No Way Home is not on this list. And here's why. I'm going to reiterate what I said in my predictions video last year. So at the time that I made my predictions video, Spider-Man was still filming. Actually, there was two movies that I originally had on my list, Mission Impossible 7 and the Spider-Man Far From Home sequel, the Spider-Man 3, the next Tom Holland MCU, Spider-Man, whatever you want to call it. Those films, I mean, I really thought that they were going to be on this list. There's the Spider-Man film, which would be on the top 10 for any year, but that's just it. As of recording, as of this date, those two movies are still filming. At the time, it was supposed to be filming through March. So I just had a feeling that it was going to be delayed. I don't know. I just had a gut feeling that they were going to delay it. And considering the fact that it was scheduled to be released in December, even if they moved it back, pushed it back, delayed it back to just 1 month, that would have pushed it into 2022. So for some reason, when I made my predictions, I just had a feeling that Spider-Man would get delayed and become a 2022 film. I went with my gut. Obviously, I was wrong. Now, with that being said, I would have put Spider-Man. I mean, it is the obvious choice. We all knew that was going to be a huge success. If I included it in my video for last year, I would have put it at number one, but I didn't. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what I would have done. I didn't include it in my predictions video. I thought it'd be delayed. I was wrong, so it's not on my list. So there we are. With that being said, now there's the predictions. There's the actual list. There you have it. So 5 films I don't want to say got right. I mean, I didn't nail the predictions, but there are 5 films that were on my predictions list that made it on to the actual top 10. But to go over the actual top 10 from last year, Sing 2 was at number 10, followed by Shang-Chi. Godzilla vs. Kong, which is the only prediction that I nailed, coming in at number 8 with a little bit over $470 million, Godzilla vs. Kong at number 8. Venom, Let There Be Carnage at 7. Chinese film, Detective Chinatown 3, number 6. F9 at number 5. No Time to Die came in at number 4. Numbers 2 and 3, both Chinese films. Hi Mom at number 3, making $841 million. Followed by, well, not followed by, but coming in at number 2 was The Battle of Lake Changjin at $911 million. A huge film, only topped by the one and only Spider-Man No Way Home, making almost $2 billion with a grand total of a little bit over $1.9 billion. Without a doubt, the biggest film of the year. So there you have it. That is the actual top 10, the top 10 highest grossing films of last year, 2021. As I mentioned before, 5 of the films that were in my predictions list made it on to the actual top 10. Like I said, did a little bit better than my 2020 predictions. So 5 made it onto the predictions list. Godzilla vs. Kong was the only film that I nailed at number 8, and I'm actually really happy about it because Godzilla vs. Kong, I'm a huge Godzilla fan, and Godzilla vs. Kong was my most anticipated film of 2021, and I personally am really happy that it did so well, that it made as much money as it did, becoming a huge success, allowing the MonsterVerse to continue. So not only did it break records and exceed expectations, making it into the top 10 highest grossing films of 2021, in a nice little bit of poetic justice, it's the only one that I absolutely 100% predicted. And there you have it. That is the comparison between my predictions and last year's actual top 10. So not too bad, especially when you compare it to my 2020 predictions. So I am perfectly content knowing that half the movies on my predictions list made it onto the actual top 10, regardless of the order. Hey, it's a victory in my book. And that concludes this year's revisit of last year's predictions. So stay tuned on my channel because, hey, we are almost in 2023. If you could believe it, just a few days away from 2023. Brand new year, brand new slate of movies, a lot of big movies coming up for next year. So within the next month or two, I'm going to be dropping my next predictions video, my predictions for the top 10 highest grossing films of 2023. So if you were entertained by this video, I hope you will show your support by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Have a very safe and healthy new year, and I will see you in 2023.